starting on a consistent basis, Fridays from 2 to 3-ish p.m. We will be live on Red Bull.
Live on what? On Red Bull?
Like a text pop up, and it's my friend in all capitals. My Red Bulls have arrived. So I guess that's how my brain works today. Evening, afternoon, whatever time it is by you, welcome back to Season 3 of the Underqualified Knuckleheads Sports Podcast. As always, I'm your co-host, Daniel Keene. I've finally nailed down introducing myself. Alongside me, as always, is Mr. Andrew Newman. Andy, how are we doing today?
You know what? It is a pleasure to hear that fantastic intro once again and to be hearing it correctly for one of the first times in my entire life. Season 3, it took a little bit for us to get here. We've been working through a lot of things. We're getting back into the swing of things this semester, correct? Yeah. And we're finally here. We finally got a time nailed down for every single week.
Every single Friday.
Yeah, so if you
2
listen,
p.m. to 3 p.m. live on our Instagram.
Yes, yeah. So if you listen to the Instagram live, there you go.
Knucklehead Sports Pod every Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. And then sometime before Monday, it'll come out on Spotify.
It's a pleasure to be back.
It's so good to be back.
Been enjoying some time off, though. I think so. Much needed, much appreciated time off. But happy to be back in the studio and talk a lot of sports that we've missed over the past, 6 weeks, something crazy like that.
6 weeks. It's been a while. It's going to be a pretty heavy NFL episode. Well,
I can't say I'm opposed to that.
I think the only outside of the World Cup, which we'll talk about, the only real. I don't think any other sports things haven't. Well, technically the NBA is going on, but
whatever.
Stuff. If somebody ever writes in and says we want to listen to more NBA talk, I'll take it. We'll totally talk about the NBA. But you're going to have to ask for it.
I'm going to look up NBA news right now and see if there's anything we can talk about. NBA news.
We don't like it.
Oh, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo
voted as
All-Star
the All-Stars.
Captains. Yay.
Are you going to watch it?
No. Oh, wait. Is it this year that it's going to be in Indianapolis, or is it next year? I don't know. But you know what? I might try and slide and get $500 tickets to sit in the literal top of
You want to get
not
nosebleed
Baker's Life
tickets?
Anymore.
A $500 tissue for nosebleed?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That's what it is now.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Okay, I don't think anything else. The Pacers were good. Now they're not.
They were good for a little bit. Now they're not.
Tyrese Halliburton.
The Pistons
something?
are. Yeah, the Pistons are just vibing.
They're
not great.
They're a team.
They're young.
Yeah.
NHL's going on. The Red Wings are looking good.
Wow.
Watched the Wings game the other night.
MLB's not going on.
Yeah. We should totally do an episode where we watch a game, like a sporting event that we've never watched before.
I think we've talked about this.
Like something like new. Like we'll watch a soccer game and you don't know anything about soccer, but I love that.
I know some stuff. You gotta you can't be offsides.
You cannot be offsides.
Yeah.
Good job, Andrew.
Disallow.
Or we should watch cricket or something.
I could get down for some cricket.
I could get down for some cricket.
Racquetball.
Have you ever watched
I don't know tennis all that well.
You ever watched the Cornhole World Championships?
Yes. No, I've seen clips.
It's the best.
He just said it's the best for those who are trying to listen.
Yeah, I don't know why. I looked at the Instagram and said it's the best.
Yeah.
No, growing up, we would go to soccer tournaments, and they're usually in you ever heard of Schaumburg, Illinois? That was a place we almost always went for soccer tournaments. But whenever you get to the hotel, we get to the hotel the night before the games, and it's 8 or 9 o'clock, and there's nothing on. I would watch Cornhole World Championships, and that is just.
Speaking of random sports that would be on ESPN 8, the Ocho, which isn't a real thing, but whatever. If you've seen the movie Dodgeball, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
I've not.
You've never seen the movie Dodgeball?
I think I've seen clips in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've also
ESPN posts that every other week, where it's just remember the Dodgeball game with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. Jeez.
No.
Globo Gym. No.
Did you ever see Vince Vaughn's dramatic role?
I feel like that's something that I wouldn't enjoy. I really like him as an actor, as a comic. I just saw Wedding Crashers for the first time. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Such a good
Great movie.
Such
Great
a good
film.
movie. I watched it first semester about halfway through.
Walken.
Me and Kyle, shout out Kyle Smedley. We watched it, and he was like, "You've never seen Wedding Crashers?"
Dude, it was so good.
No, Vince Vaughn was in Hacksaw Ridge, and seeing
seeing Vince
Vaughn
crazy.
in
Straight
dramatic,
man role, yeah.
like a dramatic,
Yes.
straight acting role was
Yes.
a little odd for me.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that being weird. Kind of like Rob Riggle. Rob Riggle. Yeah, like where he's mostly just like and then he just like goes into like I'm actually like was in Desert Storm or something.
Yeah,
like that. Yes,
yeah.
that guy.
Or who's the guy from Mad Men?
John Hamm.
Yeah, John Hamm.
Yeah.
But John Hamm does it really well.
Yeah.
Like he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Dude,
movie of
great
the year.
film. Fantastic. It probably is.
Movie
Definitely
of the
is.
year.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick. And then he was also in Baby Driver, which is
Never seen that.
one of my favorite movies of all time. Highly recommend it.
How do we get from the NBA to Baby Driver? I don't know.
That's how boring the NBA is.
I'm so sorry. For I don't know, for the people that listen that enjoy the NBA, I'm just not really that big into it. If the Pacers would have probably kept going on a bit of a tear there, I may have kind of crept back in a little bit, but they lost like 8 straight, I think. Now,
Yeah,
or something crazy.
I don't know.
Last I looked, it was 7.
It's really
I'm sure
hard
they
to get
lost another
into.
one.
So recently, I've been doing a lot of work covering basketball.
Okay.
I'm starting to cover. I just got a freelancing job working for the Herald Bulletin up in Madison County, and I'll be covering a lot of high school and Anderson, which is a D3 school basketball.
How far
there.
of a drive is that?
It's like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I get paid enough to cover my gas money, and that's all
There
I
you
really
go.
care about.
Oh wow! So it's like an unpaid internship essentially.
well, I'm making like a little bit, but like you're not
like
getting
40 cents. Nice.
No, it's like it's. I mean, I'm not gonna talk money,
I'm-
but it's like it's
Yes.
enough to where I'll be like, yeah, I'll totally do
I'm
this.
over exaggerating. I know. Yes.
Obviously,
Yes.
I get 40 cents a word,
There-
but
hey.
actually 40 cents a word. I think
That'd
it's.
be
I
pretty
think.
nice.
I think it was 40 cents a line. I was talking to somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, my first job was 40 cents a line."
I would
was
write like 400 pages.
Well, yeah, but you only have like a certain number of lines on print deadline.
Boo.
Yeah,
Boo.
I'm glad we don't get paid by the line anymore.
That'd be sucky.
Yeah, but I'm covering like high school ball in Indiana, and it just means more. And
It does.
It's just basketball in 49 other
It
states.
is, yeah.
I've never seen Hoosiers, but
Can I be completely honest with you?
have you also never?
I
seen
have never seen it. I've
Thank
seen
you.
clips.
Thank you.
I am Indiana man.
Andrew Newman
Yeah.
is from Fort Wayne, Indiana,
Yeah.
and he has never seen Hoosiers.
Yeah.
I would just like to shout that out. So the sports section of the
Sorry.
DN, whenever we're in a meeting, they're just like, "You've never seen Hoosiers. What do you know?"
I'm gonna watch Hoosiers this weekend now.
We should watch Hoosiers sometime.
I should not
That-
have. I
that
should
should
not
be the
have-
plan.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Now I've added myself.
Do we
as
have to
not
cut
being
the
a-
fact that
I
you've
don't,
never
I don't
seen
know.
Or that'll
as
be
big of a Hoosier as I continue to call myself and be like,
That'll be our
big
social.
Indiana guy.
That'll be our social promo on Twitter. Andy has
Andy
also
watches
never
Hoosiers.
seen Hoosiers.
don't.
Next week we'll do a little discussion about what we thought of Hoosiers.
Sure, yeah.
Isn't it like?
Gene Hackman's in it, the guy who played Lex Luthor and Superman.
Is it Luthor?
Luthor, yeah,
I thought it was Luther.
either one.
Isn't it L-U-T-H-E?
It's spelled Luthor.
T-H-E-R.
O-R.
O-R?
I do believe. Oh my god, I might be wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean.
No, it's O-R. Yeah.
Yeah. To
I'm
be
right.
fair, I don't know.
It's Lex Luthor.
I'm a Marvel guy. Luthor.
Yes. Bald men are the scariest people alive, but also the smartest, according to DC Comics. So
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Again,
maybe cut some
random tangent. I'm
cut
so
some
sorry.
dead air. No, it's totally
No.
fine. I'm loving the vibe. We're back in the studio.
I like it. I like having
so
a mic in front of my face.
If
Feels
I'm
right.
gonna yes. It just feels right.
It does.
Just feels right. It just
It
means
does.
more in the podcast studio.
It does.
So I if you don't have the answer to this, we'll circle around at the end
Okay.
of the episode. But now that we are in 2023, we're 27 days in. What was your game of the year or sports moment of the year from 2022?
Just all
If-
sports.
Any sport, any game, any event. What's your game of the year?
You know what? As crazy as this is to say, it was by and large that World Cup final.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And
Thank
I
you
knew
so
that-
much.
And I knew that was what you were trying to do as your transition, but it legitimately was.
Well, for me,
Yes.
it was. So
Of course.
I will say close second was watching Matthew Stafford win a Super Bowl. It was just
I didn't have that much.
the Detroit line in me
Yeah.
was just having
Yeah.
a well, like you know,
I didn't have that much emotional
well,
stake. in
Matt
it.
Stafford won the Super Bowl, and Eminem performed at the halftime show. It was like a real Detroit movement for
Yeah.
a team that's never been. But World Cup final, what a game, what a moment,
Yeah.
what a player.
Player. Oh, Messi is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Who else would I be talking about?
You know what? Yeah. So I have officially gotten into soccer a little bit. I have ESPN notifications on my phone
Yes,
for
you do.
the football club known as Liverpool down in jolly old England.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hey, shout out Jacob Booth and the Booths.
Arsenal till I die.
Shout out Jacob Booth and the Booths. Apparently they're bad.
Big Liverpool fans?
They're big Liverpool fans. Oh, hey, it's Paige.
Hey,
what is
Paige.
Paige doing? Yes.
Yeah, but you can come say hi real
Hello.
quick.
Oh, shoot. We have
you're giving it
do
to
we have?
her?
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Hello.
Paige.
Tell them what you're doing.
How's it going? We're podcasting
Yes,
live
this is
right now.
Andy,
Yes.
I'm Daniel. We host the Underqualified Knuckleheads Sports Podcast.
This is
so
happening.
You're actually cameoing on an episode right now.
Yeah.
But we stream
Hello.
to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can get your podcasts. This is
Huh.
one of like a couple dozen podcasts. This is all student run. If you want to do it, you can reserve a time in the studio, and it's really fun.
We just ripped a promo out of nowhere.
We just ripped the promo out of nowhere for Paige.
What were we talking about?
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Wait, what just happened?
You just cut a promo. You just cut a promo to some random people, and you just got them to come to Ball State University.
I really hope
You
the
ju-
mic
you
picked
just
that
cut
up.
a
Did you
promo.
guys catch the promo on the
Cut a
Instagram
promo.
live? I don't.
Daniel just cut a promo. I don't know if we're keeping that in there. I'm gonna go with
We'll
probably not.
we'll listen
Yeah.
back if it sounds good, but
no,
most likely not.
No, I'm cutting that. Anyway,
We were talking World Cup final.
talking World Cup.
That
Yeah.
was so weird.
You know what?
That was so weird.
it was fun. It was something. You know.
I
enjoyed it.
love Paige, but
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. So Liverpool, jolly old England, the Booths.
Yes, that's what we were talking about.
The Booths.
Actually, wait, for the people coming back from the
Yeah.
edit, we just had a tour come in and knock
Yeah.
on the door and ask us what we were doing. And so we talked to a couple prospective students.
I guess
midway through a recording, they were like, "Hey, are you recording?"
Yes.
So-
the answer is yes.
Welcome back. We were
Yeah.
talking about Andrew's new love of Liverpool FC.
Yes.
Part owner, minority owner is
I know,
LeBron James.
Yes. That was actually a motivating factor not to do that, but
Well, Stan
You know what?
Kroenke, who owns the Rams,
Yeah.
he's the owner of Arsenal.
Cool.
KSE.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Either way, soccer, World
Liverpool.
Cup final. How many games of the World Cup did you watch?
I did watch. I think in the end, I watched a combined 4.
You just watched the U.S. games, didn't you?
No, I watched the U.S. game. I watched the final, and I watched the 2 semifinals.
Oh, you didn't watch all the U.S. games.
No, I was going to watch the. What was I? No, I didn't end up watching. I did watch the second.
The game versus Wales.
I watched a little bit of the Iran game.
Yeah, the Iran game was
So I watched
really
like
good.
4 or 5 ish.
Yeah, not bad. I watched.
I did not watch the France. Not France. What was the Netherlands, Norway? Who did we lose to? That was really good.
Netherlands.
Netherlands. Yeah, I didn't watch that.
I watched all the U.S. games, all the England games, the final, the 2 semi. I watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
But no, despite we definitely talked in the precursor leading up to the World Cup of the controversy behind hosting it in Qatar.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, sporting wise only,
Good
if we don't talk about anything but the sports that were played, it was a very, very good World Cup.
It's
And
acceptable.
what a World Cup final. What a way for Lionel Messi to win his coveted World Cup and establish himself as the greatest player of all time.
Nah, I'm more of a Ronaldo guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're sarcastic right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because moving on,
Yeah. No, it's very clearly Messi with my limited knowledge.
tail
but
of the
seems like
tape
he's
for
way
this
better.
World Cup final. If
Yeah.
you didn't watch at all, 23rd minute, Argentina get a penalty. Messi scores. I think he scored in every single knockout game.
It's pretty cool.
Then Angel Di Maria scores in the 36th minute to make it 2-0. We're riding into it. Second half starts. We're so excited. We make it about the 75, 80th minute mark without showing any signs of weakness. I'm not going to lie. Before this game, I was gung-ho, full Argentina fan.
Yeah.
I watched it on the couch with my mom, and it was the best game ever. But then Kylian Mbappe scores a penalty in the 80th. Mbappe scores a penalty in the 80th minute, then scores again in the 81st minute to tie the game up. And one of the best shots I'm totally going on a soapbox here.
Yeah.
One of the best shots was after he scores, Lionel Messi is like chuckling to himself as he's like leaning down and like taking a breath, and he's just like, "What is going on?" Then we go to extra time. Messi scores in the 108th minute of extra time, and we're like, he's done it. He's won it for his country after all this time. And then Kylian Mbappe scores again with a penalty in the 118th minute. And then it goes to penalties, and Argentina wins 4-2, and it is one of the greatest sports moments of the last decade and 100% the greatest sports moment of the year. What doesn't get talked about enough is Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick in that game.
Yeah, no, I think he got the golden boot too.
No, it was Messi. No, he got the golden boot. Messi was the tournament.
I'm talking for the whole tournament.
Yeah, Messi was the tournament's best player. Mbappe got the golden boot. You're right.
Yeah.
No, but I think France will be back. I think France will be a perennial contender for a little bit, especially with Kylian Mbappe as their talisman.
Golden boot, by the way, is most goals in the,
most
World
goals
Cup,
scored.
as I learned. Yeah.
Little sidetrack. Did you see the player who won the Golden Glove?
Oh yeah,
So,
that guy's the GOAT, by the way. Love that guy.
Martinez, Emiliano Martinez. He's actually a former Arsenal player. And there's this whole conspiracy theory. So what happened was Bernd Leno, who was Arsenal's number one, had a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
So Neil Maupay of Brighton at the time injured Bernd Leno's knee by going into a rash challenge in a game, and everyone was pissed because he didn't have to make that challenge, and he did anyway. It was stupid. And then Emiliano Martinez came in, played the rest of the season, and played very, very well. Played very well to the point where people were debating who should be the number one goalkeeper for Arsenal. Arsenal sold him for $20 million to Aston Villa, and he started playing really well there. I mean, not as good. Arsenal's top of the table right now. But he established himself as Argentina's number one and played lights out as the goalkeeper of the tournament in the World Cup in which Argentina won. So, if Neil Maupay had not injured Bernd Leno, Argentina does not win a World Cup.
Wow. See, that's exactly why time travel is impossible. Really. You know, if you step on that butter, just you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like just random events.
You can't make it up. It's the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. If I step on a butter, or I like to step on the butterfly one. So the flap is it's like if I kill that butterfly, maybe that butterfly lands on I don't know, some famous man, Peyton Manning's shoulder, and Peyton Manning is sees that butterfly and becomes this is the reason I want to be good at football or something. It's yes. I don't know what I'm saying right there. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay,
but
whatever.
I get what
you know
you're
what I'm saying. Yes.
Exactly
if I mess up, you mess up anything, everything goes to hell.
Yes. Moving off the World Cup. I mean,
what did I just say? I don't know.
Yeah, that was a spur of the moment.
I don't know. I just thought about it. Okay.
But going off the World Cup, going into the NFL, because there was a lot of NFL football that we missed over break. I mean, here's my thing.
We're talking playoffs now, or
we're talking.
We're talking
deep into the NFL.
Okay.
If the Lions had beaten the Carolina Panthers rather than getting their butts whooped by a head coach who should be the head coach, and we'll get to that later.
What?
The Panthers' interim head coach. I think he should have been.
Really?
Yeah. We'll talk about it. But if the Lions beat the Carolina Panthers, Lions are in the playoffs, and I firmly believe the Lions would be in the NFC Championship game right now. Call it delusion. Call it whatever's in the water.
It's called delusion. Yeah, it's delusion. Yeah. They would have played immediately. They would have played the Niners, right? They'd have lost. You're telling me that the Niners wouldn't have beat the Lions?
I don't think so.
I think that
Brock Purdy would get locked up by Jeff Okudah.
No,
that's where his luck ran out.
Maybe next year.
Honestly,
next year's looking good.
There's talk that the Lions are going to look to trade for blanking on the name, cornerback, LA Rams. Shoot,
Matthew Stafford?
No, cornerback.
Oh, Jalen Ramsey.
There we go, Jalen Ramsey. They're thinking about trading him. If he shuts down the whole other side of the field, then offensive they have to deal with him, and then on the other side of the field, they have to deal with Jeff Okudah, Jerry Jacobs, Kirby Joseph.
Especially if the Packers don't have Rodgers anymore because he's going to the Jets.
You owe me a Coke?
No, I'm not getting you a Coke. You know what's crazy though? That would be the exact same thing that happened with Favre.
Well,
that means that's destined that he will go to the Vikings.
No, he won't.
Go to the Vikings.
No, he won't.
Aaron Rodgers, Viking 2025.
Stop talking.
Calling it right now.
Stop talking.
2025, Aaron Rodgers is a Viking.
Okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, I mean, no, but okay.
Yes, but why not?
On a more dismal note, we didn't talk about it I don't think we've. Well, no,
we definitely didn't.
We haven't had a podcast, but Damar Hamlin's situation was a very scary moment.
Definitely,
probably the scariest thing I've seen on an NFL field, or
ever.
Maybe the most surreal thing I would say.
Yeah, that's
more than scary.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was actually working crew at the Monday Night Football game.
Did you really? How?
She works in SportsLink. She does like some freelance work for.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly how it works, but either way, she was on the sidelines
Yeah.
with the broadcast crew working that game. Very scary moment.
It's crazy.
The biggest respect, love, and applause for the medical response team.
Absolutely.
Who helped him out there and made sure that, Damar Hamlin was going to be okay. And, on the brighter side of not recording for 6 weeks, we are already to the point where Damar Hamlin is okay.
Yeah.
And is not, he's not fully recovered, obviously, but he is getting to a point where getting back to normal life is a very real possibility. Yeah. And we are thankful so much for that.
Yeah. That whole situation honestly has just it really is a testament not only to just Bills Mafia and like the Bills fan base, but I think the NFL fan base as a whole and just the human spirit in general. Everyone kind of latched on to the toy drive that he had to set up for the GoFundMe. And that thing, his original goal was $2,500.
Yeah,
and that's I think it
eclipsed.
I haven't looked at it in a while, but
I thought it was at least a couple million.
It was past like 5 million at one point. I think it was 6 maybe. But here I'm gonna look at it right now. But that whole I even was compelled to like donate to it. And I mean obviously
I did too.
I'm a broke college student. I don't have a whole lot of money.
Like whatever
it's at over 9 million.
Yeah,
right now.
so it was kind of like a whole whatever you can. I think whole organizations were donating.
Agreed.
To.
Yeah. I think Rob Gronkowski donated. Tom Brady donated.
Yeah, Robert Kraft, whole organization.
Russell Wilson. Yeah. The Washington Commanders, which funny enough got beat by like some guy's random small business, which was kind of funny.
What?
There was a random small business.
Yeah,
it was the carpet store donated more than the Commanders.
That donated more than
which
whatever.
Yeah, but it all in all, it's like store 716.
I will say on the most sour note of that whole situation, was the fact that the NFL was ready to restart this game.
And I don't know. I may disagree with you that I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if that is an accurate statement. But you know what? I could more than most definitely see that actually being true.
I believe it so firmly because in the instances in which games have had stops or interruptions or halts, the NFL has always required a 5-minute warm-up time or a couple-minute warm-up time before going back out. If the teams were under the impression that the NFL had canceled the game the second they took Damar Hamlin away and in the ambulance, then they wouldn't have came back out on the field.
Yeah.
So somebody told somebody on team personnel that you're going to go back on the field, either A, just to not even a couple options here. The only reason they'd go back onto the field is if they were going to play. The NFL wouldn't send them out to just go hang out for a bit. And then when they came out, both head coaches, quarterbacks, team captains got together and were like, "This is not happening. I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that they kept playing the game when Ryan Shazier very clearly was paralyzed. But I think it was a little bit of a different surreal I don't know I don't know if you can really compare the level of oh man this is more
Damar Hamlin's heart stopped on the field
which is
I'm not comparing one life-threatening injury to another.
I get it. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to
but think about it the Ryan Shazier game did keep going
but Damar Hamlin was technically dead
if he ended up passing away after the game or during the game if they were going to continue playing. I don't think that's something you should do at all.
I guess Ryan Shazier was able to raise his
he did
and
he
give,
was
a thumbs up and all
but
that kind of thing.
But also think about it from an emotional perspective. Your teammate that you see every day, it's like you got into a car accident, we're in the hospital, and somebody was like, "Yeah, go record the podcast. Just figure it out."
I'm not going to do that.
I mean, let's not compare amateur level podcasting with less than 20 viewers to whatever the heck the NFL's doing. But
hey,
you know, but those are his brothers, those are his teammates, those are guys that he sees day in day out.
I agree. Yeah,
and I wouldn't play a football game with that being
Yes.
at stake.
No, I agree. And especially like on such a routine play.
Yep.
You know, like
And
that's just something that could happen if I don't know, if I'm Josh Allen or if I'm Joe Burrow and I'm thinking, I mean, that could happen to me when I'm scrambling.
That's one of the scariest
like that,
things. Like it wasn't even a bad hit. It wasn't even a bad moment. It was just
normal.
a tackle.
There's a normal routine everyday thing.
And
which is crazy.
Shout out the people who were
Covering it.
But the people who were calling out. Why I'm blanking on everybody's names right now. The wide receiver for the Bengals.
Oh, T. Higgins.
Yeah, the people who are calling out T. Higgins and like going after him on social media for that.
Messed
like,
up.
You are the lowest of low. You are the lowest of low.
Dude did nothing wrong and had no malice or ill intent towards what happened on that play. Like there's no.
I thought when I started seeing people say, like I was reading his Instagram comments, I was like, what is wrong with these people?
The whole situation, honestly, is just a fantastic kind of just. I don't know if it's a metaphor or just look into this how and this is getting really weirdly off topic, but I'm still going to throw it out there. Just like kind of how society reacts to some of the stuff like this,
especially like sporting. Like we don't really talk about the people behind the players that often. And
but what I was kind of going for is that like how like just like the highest of highs of like people who don't have a whole lot of money or whatever, just trying to like donate to show support and love or gather around, sending prayers.
As a community behind this person.
It's just like everybody's coming together as like one positive thing. And then you also have other people that are just using it as horrible things to say on the internet.
Yeah, and then there's like the additional like sports social media. People think they can really say whatever they want just because it's on social media.
I'm assuming you're referring to Skip, correct?
Well, a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think that tweet was more just misread.
I understand.
That's me.
Like from a journalistic perspective, I will understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
but I will not understand his choice to say it in that moment.
I agree. But I think people were thinking that like he was calling what happened on the field insignificant instead of the game itself insignificant.
Yes,
which I think people just need to read.
Well, to be fair, if you're missing this, we're talking about Skip Bayless. Like during the incident, like after Damar Hamlin went away, he tweeted about it, and basically the way he tweeted it, I mean, I would have used more words, but obviously you can only use a certain amount of words on Twitter. But the way he phrased it did not seem sincere at all.
Correct.
It was kind of just to me. It looked like he was.
It was scummy. It was a little scummy. Yeah.
And we know why he tweeted it. He tweeted it because at that moment in time, that was something that was trending, and he wanted to be a forefront voice in that situation.
Yeah,
sometimes just shut your mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I mean. I think it was definitely everybody has that thought in their head. It's just not something that I think you needed to verbalize at that moment because at that moment the number one priority was is this man going to be okay? Yeah. And at that point in time, you had no clue.
Yeah.
The whether or not the NFL playoffs were going to be messed up, which they were clearly, because of this issue. Yeah. Was beyond a secondary, something that doesn't even need to be talked about until a later time when this is all kind of settled a little bit. You know.
And speaking of the NFL playoffs,
let's get into it. Let's again, to cap it off, very very excited and happy that DeMar's doing all right. I mean, at least doing better.
I mean, at this point in time, you can have the conversation. What's the likelihood that he returns to the field?
I think it's good.
I think it's possible. And do you remember Eric Berry running out after he beat cancer?
Oh yeah.
The moment Damar Hamlin, if and when he comes back to the field, that'll be
awesome.
That'll be such a tear-jerking moment. For everybody.
Yeah. Especially it'll be something special next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But also, if he never returns to the field again, that's okay because he's going to be a contributing member of society.
Yep.
The playoffs. I don't know. How messed up did they get with the seeding issue?
Let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So originally they were going to do that. I mean, obviously there ended up being a no contest between the Bills and the Bengals.
Yes.
Bills and the Bengals both ended up winning their next regular season games. And at that point, if the Ravens would have beat the Bengals, they would have had a coin toss to see who would have been at home, which the Bengals were incredibly upset about. And obviously not necessarily because they beat them twice.
Yeah.
And then the Bills ended up beating, I do believe it was, I don't know who they played. It was the Patriots.
Yep.
The Patriots knocked the Patriots out of the playoffs. Yeah, so with that happening, obviously Kansas City got the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the Bills would have beat the Bengals last weekend, which, spoiler alert for those listening, they did not, there would have been a neutral site for the AFC Championship, which would have been really cool because, and also if volleyball didn't exist, would have been really cool because it could have been in Lucas Oil Stadium because that was the original ask, what they were thinking
about. Is there volleyball in Lucas Oil right now?
There is some sort of big volleyball event this weekend that is going on in Lucas that they said no to there being an AFC Championship there.
The Ford Field was also a finalist, which I thought was odd because the Bills were at Ford Field
I think it ended
a
up
couple times this year. They passed on it because Ford Field is currently renovating their turf, which I very much like the fact that they are doing that because the turf that was in Ford Field and is in most fields right now is extremely bad for player injuries.
But I think they ended up deciding on Georgia, which is neither here nor there because in the end of the day, Bills lost in pretty horrific fashion.
And I
loved. Did
you see Burrow's post-game interview where he was like, "They better be getting those
send those refunds."
Oh, yes, I loved that.
You know what? Honestly, okay, so
sorry, keep going.
No, I'm just kind of recapping the playoffs a little bit. A couple weekends ago, I'm just EFC side at this point.
Oh yeah.
Bills beat the Dolphins, barely beat their third string quarterback, which was kind of a weird.
It was interesting.
A little bit telling of what was to come the next week.
I think Mike McDaniels is a very good head coach.
No, he's ripping that vape on the sidelines too.
Oh, that
cool.
was.
I think that's real.
I remember seeing it live, and I was like, no shot.
I think it is.
He basically, I look up the video on Twitter, but
I think there's a very real chance that
he's holding something in his hand, and then he moves his mic, and then he does what any person who's ever seen another individual use a vape or an e-cigarette or something takes a puff.
Yeah. I legitimately think that he did that. Which is just an asinine thing to be doing in the middle of a playoff game.
But honestly, coaches chew tobacco on the sidelines. So
that's true.
I mean,
but back in the day,
they were smoking smoking cigarettes on the sidelines.
Tom Landry was coming out there with like 50 packs of heaters, just going through.
Coaches now do it.
What?
Dan Campbell showed up to a press conference with a packed lip. Like
really?
Packed lip. I'll look up the video, but shows up and Dan Campbell's got and most I don't know if it's most, but a good amount of coaches chew tobacco on the sidelines.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway,
more of a sunflower seed guy.
Okay. Yeah, more of a baseball kind of dude. Anyway, all right. So there was that game, and then obviously the Bengals and the Ravens game. That actually the Bengals could have lost. Really?
It was a little too close
which
for comfort.
Which is crazy. Tyler Huntley kind of sold the bag there. R.I.P. Dylan Selke and the boys. And also Wee Hoopin, and then the other game of that weekend was the, honestly, kind of a surprising, disappointing game for myself. That Jaguars and Chargers game where they were up 27-0 and decided that they wanted to blow it. And Drew Tranquill is out of the playoffs now, and now I'm sad. But, credit Jags, I guess. I mean, I don't know how you throw 4 picks in the first half and then come out there and take a dub. Was it 4? Was it 4 or 3? I don't know. It was more than necessary.
Wasn't good.
Yeah, no. But they somehow still came out and won that game and actually gave the Chiefs a competitive weekend as well, but ended up kind of being just a pretty plausible victory for the Chiefs, even without Patrick Mahomes for half the game. So,
yep. I'll take over the NFC side for 2 reasons. One, the Lions should be there. The Lions were more competitive than at least 3 of the teams in the NFL playoffs.
Here, I'm speaking on that just real quick. I think the first weekend of football, the wild card weekend for the AFC, I think that proved that every single team in the AFC playoffs more than deserved to be there.
Yep.
Because of every game was so competitive, and every game was a possible toss-up, even on wild card weekend. So every single team in the AFC playoffs deserves to be there.
And then
100%.
I believe that the NFC wild card weekend was the complete opposite.
Yes.
I mean, the Seahawks laid down.
Nope.
Lay down and lost. They were just like, hey, we're happy to be here, and then left.
Vikings
are frauds. Vikings are frauds.
Frauded. Yep, Vikings frauded.
Like I was saying this in September.
Yeah.
I was saying this when they beat the Lions very narrowly.
Disappointed.
I was saying this when the Lions beat them in the rematch of the season. The Vikings are frauds.
What do the Vikings need? Is it a quarterback?
They added a new coach, Kevin O'Connell, and he's done great, whatever, but he hasn't because.
Is it a defense? Is it a quarterback that can play at times other than 1 o'clock? I don't think. I don't think Kirk is that terrible. Is
He's
he that
not
ter-
a bad. He's not
he
a
did,
bad.
He did end the season on a 3-yard check down.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But he's not a horrible quarterback.
No. He's not.
They have Dalvin Cook. They have Justin Jefferson. They have offensive weapons.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, admittedly, is not good, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then their defense, I think they were missing a little bit. They have Zadarius Smith, but he's probably going to leave in the offseason. Harrison Smith's getting older. Their cornerback situation is pretty bad. Their secondary is pretty bad. I don't know. Either way, I don't care. But they didn't deserve to be there.
Vikings took an L of the Giants. Massive.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Which
shout out Brian Dable.
Shout out to the big fat man and
shout out Uncle Brian. Playoff win.
Yes.
Sorry about the next weekend.
Sorry, that was not a derogatory thing towards Brian Dable. He's literally being called the most popular and most beloved fat man in New York right now. So
that's what they call him.
Yes, apparently that's what
that's awesome.
Good man. Good boy.
Yeah, but either way, the Lions should be there. I think it's kind of stupid that the divisions are based on overall record, not divisional record.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Because the Lions are 5-1 in their division.
Yeah. Are you talking if I don't know.
In against NFC North teams,
I know, I get it.
The Lions are 5-1.
I get it. But like, imagine if you only won those 5 games. Like
whatever. Then it's a blowout in the postseason.
I don't know. I'd rather have teams that are better overall than better in their division in the playoffs. But I do completely.
Andrew, the Minnesota Vikings won their division.
I get it.
And they're not better overall by any means.
Yes, but like numbers wise, they were.
Okay,
but
sure.
Yes, and again, obviously the numbers were very false because they just lost to the Giants. And then. Yeah, I completely agree that the Lions were better than a couple of the teams that were in the playoffs. And then last game of that weekend for the NFC, Big Bad Wolf is out of the playoffs. Thank God. I don't have to worry about another one of those runs.
Yep.
And I just get to enjoy some football. Tom Brady's out, possibly out of Tampa Bay.
I think he's going to the Raiders.
I don't know where he's going.
No clue.
I don't think it's Tampa Bay though.
No, he's not coming back.
I think it's the Jets. I think it'll be Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers will take every other snap and kind of rest, and like every other drive, and they could just like play half a season and then win,
Okay, sure.
Yeah. You know what? That would work.
Sorry, I just yawned a bunch.
Sorry. Would that be possible?
To yawn a bunch? Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like two like.
No, I wouldn't do it.
That would be
it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting,
it's an
but
idea.
If you think about how much you have to pay Tom Brady and then how much of Aaron Rodgers' contract you got to eat up, it's not. But like, let's say like Brett Favre at the twilight of his career, like instead of going back to the Vikings, he went back to the Packers and they did an every other snap thing. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But also, I don't like the Packers.
Wow, shocker.
What are you looking at for the AFC Championship game?
Oh, but we didn't even break down the NFC Championship or NFC weekend, did we?
No, I did by calling the Seahawks and the Vikings frauds. Go the Giants. Sorry, Uncle Brian, that they got blown out after, but it was still a good game to watch. I'm happy that the Giants are progressing as like a fan by family association.
They got crushed by the Eagles, which
it was going to happen.
And again, it was. I legitimately thought the Giants had a dog in that fight and could win.
Yeah,
wrong.
I
pretty wrong. And then the boys took an L to the Niners.
That made me very happy.
You know what? I was rooting for Ty. I was not. I wanted to see
rooting for Brock Purdy. He's yet to lose a professional football game,
which is crazy.
Imagine if he goes on to win the Super Bowl with the Niners and then gets benched for Trey Lance, never starts an NFL game again, and is just known for this.
Well, that would be, so Nick Foles?
Yeah.
No. The last game that Nick Foles starts, he throws 3 interceptions and then gets destroyed by Kayvon Thibodeau and dies.
It happens.
I don't know. By the way, Kayvon Thibodeau, that was messed up, personally.
Oh, yeah,
bringing that back to that. That play, I'm referring to Kayvon Thibodeau sacking the crap out of Nick Foles in week 17.
Injuring him.
Yes, very clearly injuring him, and then deciding, I'll do snow angels right next to him, just like writhing in pain on the ground. He knew it, once he looked over.
Yeah, no,
you can literally see-
you watch the video. He looks
you
over.
can look over and see him. He's literally hitting him with his hand while he's doing the Snow Angels. And then you're like, you know what? Plausible deniability there a little bit. Maybe right after that, he's like, oh shoot, maybe I should stop.
No, not plausible.
There is an inkling of plausible deniability at that moment. I can whatever, fine. I don't agree, but once he gets over the sidelines and does a little sleeper pose, that is where the buck stops. Like, dude, that is messed up. You just injured a guy.
Wasn't
He's
pretty.
getting taken off on a cart.
I said this last year during our
Messed
draft
up.
episode. There's character issues with that guy.
Messed up.
I mean, whatever. He's a good football player, but you don't do that.
No, that is that. And then disrespecting the team's head coach in a press conference, being like, I don't even know who Jeff Saturday is, so I don't care what he has to say. He's the head coach of the team you just played.
He's also he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yes,
Probably-
I would say
probably
so.
gonna
I
be a
think
Hall of Famer.
I think Jeff's a Hall of Fame.
Not a
worthy
Hall of
center.
Fame coach. Hall of Fame player, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame and they play out the video of Peyton Manning yelling at him.
Ah, hey, Jeff!
Quit calling
the plays.
Quit calling
Jeff.
the plays.
Jeff, we'll run it. Yeah, you just play center.
You just worry about snapping the ball.
We gotta run the ball down there. Yeah, all right, Jeff.
Can't use the other words Mr. Manning said. I would also,
hey.
also just if we're highlighting bad moments in the NFL towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Final game between the Lions and the Packers. Quay Walker was ejected after pushing and harassing.
Oh, ref. Yeah.
No, a
Was it-
Lions athletic trainer.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
There was
It
a
an
guy
athletic
down,
trainer.
and the trainers came out, and then Quay Walker's like,
just push that.
"Who do you
dude.
think you
Yeah.
are, man?" And I was like, "Timeout." Especially in the aftermath of the DeMar Hamlin situation, you have no right. And then, and he's looking all bullish. He gets ejected, and then, did you see the video of him walking to the locker room? Oh,
No.
like he was a 12-year-old who just got suspended from middle school.
I did see. I was thinking. I don't know why I thought ref or whatever, but I was like, why are you?
No, it was
pushing?
bad. It was
Why are you
bad.
pushing an athletic trainer,
And he was like-
didn't even do anything.
He was mean too.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So NFC Championship this weekend. Do you want to do that, or do you want to save it for the end of the show here? Do we want to talk coaching carousel, or just want to?
Let's talk coaching carousel a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like who you think's going where.
Okay.
First and foremost, we know who's going to the Panthers. Frank Reich hired. What are your thoughts on that?
Have fun with that, Panthers fans. Feel bad that I don't think you guys are really going to get anywhere with Frank. Sadly, because
You want my hottest of takes?
what?
Frank Reich was not the problem in Indianapolis.
You know what was the problem?
Chris Ballard.
That is an incorrect statement.
I think Chris Ballard.
That is an incorrect
I
statement.
think Chris Ballard.
It is more of a Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard being not on the same page with the quarterback situation.
Okay,
I think
either
it's
way,
my
but
idea.
you're the general manager. You need to tell the owner, hey, let me do my job.
No, the owner will fire you because they're Jim Irsay.
Well,
You-
okay.
you have
Then
no
Jim
dis-
Irsay might be the problem in Indianapolis.
No.
But
I think Jim wants to win.
there's
But
a
no,
big problem in that front office.
the problem is the quarterback situation.
and who is responsible for the quarterback
Yes,
situation?
and I get that, but here is, and also Frank Reich is the only reason that Carson Wentz was there, and is the only reason Phillip Rivers was there. Okay, so let's slow our roll.
I don't
there.
think the only reason.
He was the only reason that Carson Wentz was there. He was
but
the only
also
reason.
didn't start off bad. Wasn't promising. But honestly, Jared Goff's first year in Detroit was like, it was okay.
Yeah, but like, dude, it was bad. It was not good. Anyway. The Panthers do not have any more quarterback stability than the Colts do.
Oh yeah.
All.
Don't they have
Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, and
Matt Corral? They drafted Matt
yes.
Corral.
and they
They had Baker Mayfield,
they
but they
cut
cut
Baker.
him.
Yeah. So they
Did
have.
we talk about Baker Mayfield's?
I don't know if we ever. Yeah, we did. We
Yeah,
totally
we did.
did.
Okay,
We
because
totally
that was a
did. Yeah.
great moment of
That
the
was
year
great.
too.
Yeah. But no, you guys, I wish Frank nothing but the best. I wish Chuck nothing but the best as well when
Honestly,
he left. So,
If I was Frank Reich, I would have wanted to go to the Broncos or the Cardinals.
well, I don't think that the Broncos or the Cardinals hire him. I don't think he's a premier enough coach.
I don't
to be
know.
hired
For
in
me,
one of
if
those
I'm a head
places.
coach in the NFL and I get fired, I would like to do a Dan Quinn, and I would like to spend a couple years as a coordinator
Yeah.
and build up your reputation again, kind of worry about working on your craft without really worrying about the pressure of the whole organization, and then come back. And Dan Quinn turned down offers.
He did. He's going back as
he's
the
going back.
Coordinator.
Yep.
But I think Frank Reich is not a big enough get for those franchises.
Well, I think the Panthers disrespected Wilkes. I think his time as the interim head coach of the Panthers was very good. I mean, it wasn't lights out, but when you're an interim head coach, you're just trying to steer the ship. He did a heck of a lot better than Jeff Saturday did, in all honesty, and he whooped the Lions. Like, he didn't do bad, and I don't think he got a fair enough shout to be a head coach.
Yeah, hopefully, I wish everybody nothing but the best in the future with everything. So,
I don't know how I feel about
Frank, hope the Panthers do well. I got some friends that are Panthers fans. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Shout out Josh Jackson and Kyler Bills. You guys have fun with Frank.
Yep.
Sorry.
Texans. I think the Texans should have held on to Lovie Smith. I think next year is also going to be a rebuilding year. I think next year is going to be almost as similar, if not almost identical to this year.
I mean, what were you expecting out of Lovie Smith, though?
He wasn't bad. I don't think he was horrible. Dude, with the roster they gave him,
still, like...
The roster they gave him, you can't... Dude, you could have put Bill Belichick on the Texans last year, and they wouldn't have won more than 5 games.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think if you're rebuilding for another year, just be like, whatever, let him have
I guess,
it.
yeah, I can see that, because clearly you're not going to be any better than you were last year at this point. Like, what are they going to do other than get Bryce Young?
Yep.
Or you know what? I would rather... You know what? If you're going to draft a franchise quarterback, which I think that they will do, it's probably a good idea to try to find a coach of the future now so you can work with him immediately. So that's my only thought process there. If Lovie Smith's going to be gone after next year anyway, and you're bringing in your franchise QB, let's figure out the guy for the future ASAP.
I can get behind that. Colts, who do you like?
I really liked Dan Quinn, but obviously that is a no-go at this point. They're going to keep trying to freaking hire Jeff Saturday, which is really just kind of annoying. And I think that is a pure Jim Irsay thing. Pure.
Do you really think they're going to
No. Jim Irsay is pushing for Jeff Saturday to be hired as head coach.
That's weird.
And at the end of the day, it's his decision.
It's weird.
And he hasn't been really, and apparently from what I've heard, he hasn't been sitting in on a lot of the interviews.
I think what Jim Irsay doesn't understand about being an owner is that
you can't just hire.
You can't just hire one. You can't hire your beer buddies.
Yeah.
2.
I know he's better than that.
He's not right now.
No, at this moment, no.
I also think wholeheartedly that as an owner in the NFL, you should kind of be a little hands off. You should kind of let whatever happens happens.
Tell that to what's his face in the Cowboys. What's his name? Sorry, Jerry Jones. Tell that to Jerry Jones.
Trying to cut that kicker on the sideline.
Oh my God! By the way, can we talk about Brett Maher just super quick?
Yeah,
dude. R.I.P. to his career. What was that? How do you miss 4 in a game and then
comes out big
and then misses another one? And everyone's like, oh, it was blocked. It's not his fault. Yes, it is. He kicked it low. It could get blocked.
The reason why Rodrigo Blankenship is not a starting kicker right now is because he kicks it so low.
Yeah.
When he kicks the ball,
yep.
He kicks it so low.
He
might have the distance, it might get out, but instead of going directly up when he kicks the ball,
it's a line.
He lines it and it rises as it goes. Yeah. And as a kicker, nobody wants that.
But I was absolutely shocked to see Brett Maher actually on the field.
The fact that he started that next game was very
crazy.
But,
that shows. And he missed 2 practice kicks in warm-ups, which.
I hope he was dealing with an injury or something.
I
or working through something.
Maybe he got the yips or something. I don't know.
That's probably one of the worst cases of the yips I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, maybe it was like a Simone Biles kind of thing, like where it's just like I don't know. Yeah. It's a mental health thing. I have no clue.
I wish him the best.
But at the end of the day, it may very well be just he was bad. So, but anyway, so Colts,
Cardinals, Broncos. Colts. Who are you thinking of?
I'm gonna I also liked Ben Johnson a whole lot. I really liked, but obviously he's going to stay in Detroit.
We're keeping him.
So, yeah,
actually, he got a big raise, but we are keeping him.
Yeah,
Ben Johnson is the best offensive coordinator in the NFL.
I think I would love Eric Bieniemy, but obviously they're not going to give him another interview. The Broncos defensive coordinator, kind of, but why? Why are we looking at defensive coordinators? That doesn't make any sense to me. We need an offensive coordinator.
I don't like defensive coordinators as head
We need an
coaches.
offensive coordinator.
I like former tight ends coaches as head coaches.
All of our people that we are giving second interviews to are Jeff Saturday and defensive coordinators. So I don't understand that at all. But obviously,
the defense wasn't pretty last year.
Very clearly, offensive coordinator. Yes, it was. Our defense was better than our offense.
I mean, nothing was good for the Colts last year.
Watch that Broncos game. The only reason that we won was our defense. But I will agree. I'm going into this offseason with whoever is getting traded or cut, I don't care.
Even if it's Shaq Leonard?
I honestly think that Shaq Leonard should be gone.
I would put him on the trade block.
I would. I'm fine with it.
I would put him on the trade block.
As much as I love Shaq, not Darius. You know what? He didn't play. His name is Darius, and he's fine with it being called Darius, okay? Darius Leonard. Shaq Leonard, awful. He's horrible at football.
You liked Darius Leonard?
I like Darius a lot better than Shaq, because Shaq played in like 2 games, and he did have that pick, but then we ended up losing anyway. So who cares? I don't know. I don't know who we're gonna take. I don't really. If it's Jeff Saturday, I'm gonna have to do some serious soul searching.
I might have another Lions jersey for you.
Yeah, that honestly.
Want to watch the Lions for you?
Maybe Arsenal.
Or Arsenal, or
yes.
as we've talked, we'll talk about it a little bit, probably after the Super Bowl episode. USFL, XFL, it's getting fun.
There. Yes.
If you guys on the live can't tell, Andy's got his St. Louis Battlehawks gear on.
I do. I bought a St. Louis Battlehawks hat yesterday or a couple days ago on Facebook Marketplace.
Dude,
for the first time
this jersey, this Barry Sanders jersey I'm rocking today.
Mitchell and Ness.
Got it on Poshmark for $50.
Again, never heard of that.
Is very cheap for a very good
quality.
Very,
very high quality.
Very high quality.
Yes.
Like, honestly, it's like $150.
Those jerseys like run you like $250.
I can see this going for $250, but
yes.
I'm very happy with it. Then
Cardinals,
Broncos. I don't really care.
I don't really either.
I honestly, I was just a teensy bit shocked that they fired
Coach Vance Joseph.
Cliff Kingsbury. Vance Joseph might be up there.
No,
I wouldn't hate it. It's better than Cliff Kingsbury.
You see him on the screen. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. Sergio Dip, was that guy's name? Yes.
Shout out Bryce on the live.
Yeah.
I pulled up the Arsenal game and I'm switching back and forth between my notes.
Oh my God.
He just texts me and he goes, "Not you pulling up the FA Cup game. Hey, Man City's going down."
Are you kidding me right now?
No, dude.
I have my full undivided attention. It's what we're doing right now.
I always do.
And you are talking to people, and you're watching games.
They walked into our studio. She
that
just opened the door and said, "Hey, are you guys recording?"
Yes.
I thought that was,
whatever.
Great. I love showcasing what we do here.
You know what? We just got Ball State another $20K. All right.
We just got Ball State. $20K. That was 4 guys out there.
Well,
that's
okay,
at least $100,000.
Plus times 4 for 4 years. We got Ball State $1 million there. Yeah.
We just earned you $500,000, Ball State. Okay.
Congrats.
You let us know.
And one of those kids gonna go to grad school. Million.
Right there.
Okay. Anyway.
I really don't care.
I just don't care about any of that. Yeah.
Okay. So AFC Championship
They'll
game.
find somebody.
NFC Championship game to round off the episode.
Okay.
Let's start with the NFC. I so badly, with like my whole heart, want Brock Purdy to.
That would be cool
to win the NFC Championship game and go to the Super Bowl.
You know what? I think that I like Philly. I think that I really like. I don't know.
It's
I like
really
their
hard
vibe.
to bet against Philly.
Yeah,
it's just
I like
really
their
hard
vibe.
to bet against Philly. Right now, really hard to bet against Philly.
I think at this point, Philly just looks like a monster team, and I think the Niners really looked really good against the Seahawks.
Nick Sirianni was a Colts coach, right?
I do not want to refer to that at all. I also love the fact that both our defense and offensive coordinator under Frank Reich are now head coaches in the NFL. It's awesome. No, so Nick Sirianni was our offensive coordinator.
Yeah, who was the OC? Oh, Nick Sirianni was the offensive. Who's the DC?
Oh, not
Siri.
Siri. It was head coach of the worst team in the NFL. Matt Eberflus.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Chicago Bears.
That was a funny time.
Yes, he was our defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's still the head coach. No. Yeah?
Yeah. No, he's not been fired. I
feel like he should be fired.
No,
that was a really bad season. They went 3-10, man.
Now they'll be
not
fine.
3-10. They were not.
Bears
good
will
at
be
football.
fine. Bears will be fine.
The Bears are bad at the football.
If they're bad next year, then he may get fired.
I think if the real quick on the Bears. Bears have the number 1 overall pick. I firmly believe they should ship Justin Fields and they should draft the best available quarterback.
Whoa.
Just blow it up. You have the number 1 pick. Get a lot of draft capital out of Justin Fields.
Do not listen to what Daniel Keene is saying
trade
to you,
for
Bears.
a guy who can throw the football.
No. Justin Fields is good.
Not that good.
Justin Fields is the only reason they won 3 games this year.
If Justin Fields cannot run...
If Davis Mills is their quarterback, they win 0.
If Justin Fields doesn't run for 65-yard touchdowns, if he does not have the ability to run, he is Davis Mills. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But same with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's still very good.
No. If Patrick Mahomes never left the pocket...
He would still be pretty good.
He is still an MVP level quarterback. If Josh Allen never leaves, actually Josh Allen doesn't really leave the pocket, but if he never leaves the pocket, he's an elite passer.
No, I still think Mahomes is still insanely good just as like a pocket passer, but his like half of what he does is scrambling and stuff and crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
that's less. But he doesn't scramble as his first choice.
Yeah. Which good transition, but we're actually whatever. We'll get to that in a second, but. NFC Championship, back to it.
It's Philly. It's gonna be Philly.
I think the Niners could, but I think Philly
I think it's gonna
will.
Be Philly. I'm gonna say Philly, 35.
Whoa.
Actually, no. Niners defense has been really good.
Niners defense is all right. Yeah.
Philly 28, Niners 10.
Okay,
They might keep it in control.
Give me Philly 21, Niners 17.
Wait, so I said Philly 28, 10, 49ers.
Philly's 21.
We're going to keep track of this for next week. And you said?
Philly 21, Niners 17.
All right, Philly.
But I can completely and utterly see the Niners winning that game too.
I want them to. The fan
in
in me wants them to.
I'll be rooting for the Niners.
AFC Championship game.
Honestly, this is a complete toss-up. At one point in time, I would have said 100% that the Chiefs would win this stuff.
But then Mahomes had the ankle
got hurt.
Injury, high ankle sprain in the divisional round.
And then the Bengals out of nowhere are defeating the Bills by 17. So
honestly, Patrick Mahomes was walking pretty without an issue on it. So I like Burrow, Joe Shiesty. He's 3-0 at Arrowhead. It's Burrowhead now. So Bengals 30, Chiefs 20.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna stray away from that here. I think the Bengals probably could win this game. Probably will. But as in the shake of being a contrarian to you, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Chiefs 31, Bengals 30.
Wow,
it's
a close one.
Close game.
Okay, well, but if it is a close game, Evan McPherson, he just nails it to go to the Super Bowl. All right, that about wraps it up for our first episode
of Season 3.
Of Season 3 of the Underqualified Knuckleheads podcast. Let you in on a little secret. We decided 5 minutes before we hit the record button that this is going to be Season 3.
I already said that.
No,
oh my God! Stop.
Sorry.
Siri keeps pulling up. I'm so sorry. Whatever.
That was a very aggressive reaction.
Whatever.
But no, I made the button face the other way on my watch, so I never hit it on accident anymore.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Either way, thank you for joining us. Starting on a consistent basis, Fridays from 2 to 3-ish p.m. We will be live on Red Bull.
Live on what? On Red Bull?
Like a text pop up, and it's my friend in all capitals. My Red Bulls have arrived. So I guess that's how my brain works today.
We'll be back live on Red Bull.
We'll be back. We'll be live on Instagram from 2 to 3 p.m. We're also on Spotify,
Red Bull.
Apple Podcasts. Make sure you check out our Twitter at UK-SportsPod and on Instagram at Knuckleheads.SportsPod.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah.
For all of the laughs, goofballery, and sports that you'll ever need.
Underqualified Knucklehead Nation or country. Which one?
Nation,
we'll workshop
nation,
it.
Nation.
Underqualified Knucklehead Nation.
If we I'm gonna put a poll out with a Twitter or with one of our Instagram ones.
Twitter.
If we do shirts, would you guys buy them?
Maybe.
Knuckleheads Nation.
I like that. Okay.
Knuckleheads
but
Nation.
we would get sued by that other.
No, we wouldn't. No,
maybe.
we wouldn't.
I didn't say that.
No, we wouldn't.
Okay,
once we get Pat on the show, they can't sue us.
Underqualified. We have to put the world.
Once we get Pat on the show, they can't sue
Okay,
us.
I like Nation. All right, Underqualified Knuckleheads Nation. Let's ride. See you next week.